Opening set NCAA championships, and Miles Johnson and Ohio State off to an exceptional start. Welcome in our audience, and congratulations to the Maryland Terrapins for winning the Big Ten Lacrosse Championship. It is Ohio State in red. BYU is the higher seed in their home white uniforms. And Christian Franceschi, 6'3" senior, transfer from the University of Pacific, and a real story there with regard to Ohio State. Back to serve for the first time. Let's revisit the bracket once again. Ohio State ranked number 2 in the country, but seeded 3rd. Had to work really hard to beat George Mason, and then I mentioned their 5-set grueling marathon against UCLA, whereas BYU is the number 1 seed, seeded right into the semifinals. A serve down the line for BYU.
Brendan Sander, a little inside out, and this is tough as a passer to deal with. Sander is almost at the midpoint of the court, hitting wrist away to the line passer. It is tough to know if it's in or out, and it gets on you quick. Same serve, a little bit slower.
Working on Scherzen down the line. What a kill, speaking of down the line. Johnson again, a perfect 3 for 3.
What do you do when you face a team that is as good at blocking as the Cougars? You have to be fearless, and what has gone on here in the first set shows that the Buckeyes are absolutely fearless.
A lot of room down the line, and Johnson, also a first-team All-American, taking advantage. Langlois over the top, ball dug right on top of the net, kept alive. First contact, anything goes. Scherzen is stuck, and the ball cannot be covered by Dris Gassus. And the National Player of the Year, number 9 in red for Ohio State, stopped by 3 big blockers.
A hallmark of the gold medal squared system. Get into a 3-man block as often as possible. That's something they push. That is the system and the philosophy that BYU runs. Done perfectly on that play.
BYU, the top-ranked blocking team in the nation, at over 3 stuff blocks per set. Beautiful kill out of the middle. Blake Leeson. Now, what did Pete Hansen tell us earlier today at their serve and pass about some early trends with regard to their middles?
They want to get the ball into the middle offensively early in this match and anywhere in the box. That means it doesn't have to be a perfect pass. They can be off the net a bit. They still want to get the middles involved. Feel like BYU is vulnerable there.
That ball off the block and down. 2 very, very talented offensive squads. BYU the more physical, as Ben Patch will go back to serve.
You mentioned the offense of both of these two teams. Both of these teams getting about 52% of their offense from kills alone.
Here is Patch, a real high flyer as we've delineated, and both of these teams score points with their serve, but also take a lot of high risk.
Ohio State all the way around. Back to Scherzen.
Perfect pass off a very tough serve. And Patch, number 13 in white. Stay in your seat, Kevin. Right over the top.
Oh, there's no stopping this. And Pete Hansen talked about it to his team this week. He said it doesn't matter. He's just going to go OT sometimes. And remember, it's only worth the same 1 point that everything else is worth. Tip the ball or go over the top with power. It's the same on the scoreboard.
Tight dig and the 2-hand slam by number 4, the setter, Leo Durkin. And that's a mental error, is it not, Kevin, by Ohio State not being up on that particular play as BYU now leads 10-8.
The blocker is up, but the blocker has to joust the ball. Can't just go past it and be passive. You have to be aggressive and active on the ball when it's on top of the net. Go get it.
Jake Langlois again rolling in that jump serve to pretty good effect, and Franceschi with the unforced error. Pete Hansen up in front of us thinking about a timeout, and he takes it. BYU trailed early, but they now have gone on a 4-1 run thanks to serving and blocking, and we've got a timeout here at Rec Hall. Want to say goodbye now to ESPN News, and the rest of us stay together here on ESPN2 for the remainder of this championship match. BYU off to a good start at the timeout, leading 11-8 in the opening set.
What's it going to be? An oven-baked DiGiorno or waiting for delivery?
Did you have that beard when we ordered?
A hot, fresh-baked crust or
Did we order extra soggy?
Don't settle for delivery. Rise to the occasion. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
This new Sonic lemonade's great, huh?
I can't believe they set that lemonade stand up right across the street.
Uh-oh, she saw me. You're a full-grown adult. Come on, man. Oh, boy. Okay, duck down.
Start the car.
Introducing Iced or Frozen Ultimate Lemonades, and get a free slush when you download the new Sonic app.
If you're running a business, LegalZoom has your back. Over the last 10 years, we've helped 1 million business owners get started. Visit LegalZoom today for the legal help you need to start and run your business. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
What backache? What sore wrist? What headache? Advil makes pain a distant memory. Nothing works faster, stronger, or longer. What pain? Advil.
Sunday on ABC, we've got Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. LeBron James and the Cavs take on the Atlanta Hawks at Phillips Arena in Atlanta. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown, presented by Straight Talk Wireless at 3 Eastern. The game is also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Back with two-time Olympian and two-time All-American at Pepperdine, my partner Kevin Barnett. I'm Paul Sunderland. And BYU, how they carved out this lead early still in this opening set.
They're keeping Ohio State off the net, forcing high ball attacks out of system and doing a good job with the block. They're also hitting the ball well on their side of the net, over 400.
Franceschi, nice swing into the block and out of bounds. And so far, Nick Scherzen, the reigning player of the year, has really not gotten involved in this match.
No, and you notice with the BYU block, 3 again, and they touch it. Even though it's not a point for BYU, they touch it. That's important. That gets to the hitters when you're not getting clean kills over the long course of a match.
Middle blocker Blake Leeson, number 11 in red, back to serve for Ohio State. And with a service ace.
This is Ohio State. They bring the pressure from the line. Clean aces are good. This is a nice point for Ohio State. What they want even more often is they don't want BYU out of system because they're pretty comfortable. They want BYU on a one pass where they have one option and can get in front of them. So keep track of not only clean aces, but how many times BYU must set to one spot.
Leeson again.
Like right now. Patch will get the ball.
Patch inside a 3-man block and down, finding a small seam.
Now, I think that one went through the block. That's a blocking mistake. Yeah. They should have this one. Patch isn't going over the top. He's not being more physical and better. He is just getting it through the hands. Right there between the middle and your right front. You have to close it down, especially when you have that much time.
Give you Patch's numbers on the season in just a moment. And that ball into the antenna and out of bounds. That candy cane antenna extends just up above the sideline. The ball contacts it, this time attacked by Miles Johnson. The point to BYU, now leading in the opening set 13-10. And that ball served out of bounds, and after Miles Johnson, who's now going back to the line for Ohio State. 3 straight kills. That was his first attacking error. Good sign for Ohio State.
An important moment in this first set for the Buckeyes. They know they're the underdog. Everyone in the volleyball universe knows they're the underdog. Don't lose your composure when you're just down by 2.
Sander high up into the block. Johnson's there. And the setter that time, number 5, Christy Blau, just turned the wrong way. Couldn't find the soft block.
Yeah, you would hope that Blau could find it, knowing it went off his hand, look up and find it. Other players on the floor could be yelling up, 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 and pointing up. He might find it, but that's a tough play when that ball caroms straight above your head.
There is Blau out of Ontario, New York, playing with stress fractures most of the season. Very rarely goes through a full practice. That ball crushed out of the middle, and Driss Gassus, the 6'8" redshirt junior out of Pasadena, California, second-team All-American as a freshman. He's been dealing with some injuries and very, very productive for the Buckeyes.
There's the passing, and I love the fact that Scherzen laid out, took himself completely out to make sure the pass was perfect.
Here's Franceschi. Franceschi at only 6'3", going up against this big block, has been very effective so far. On the overpass.
That could have been a throw. Ohio State not happy with the referees, having to continue play and coming up with the stuff.
A missed call early, but Ohio State stuffs this ball against Ben Patch, and now it's 14-13.
It's important when you play against a hitter like Patch, who can go over the top of you. Don't reach higher and higher. Reach through the net. Be steady with your spot. If he goes over, so what? Turn around inside out.
Franceschi. And misses that into the top of the tape.
Ohio State's going to keep ripping, and they need to keep ripping. If you're a Buckeye fan, you hope that they're on and that part of the game continues for them, but you never want to back it down, I think, if you're Ohio State, and that's what got you here.
Brendan Sander back to serve once again. He has been absolutely superb and accurate. Of course, just as I say that, he sprays a jump serve out of bounds. But in the last 2 matches, both against UCLA, 1 hitting error in 43 swings. Just absolutely spectacular efficiency. Alex Judkins, 6'6" senior outside hitter, coming in to serve for the first time. BYU leading by 1 on the overpass, and Blau takes advantage.
Blau missed that ball. He missed that ball. That's one where you swing and you hope that it finds the end line. Another good wrist away serve. It's tough. Servers don't see, pardon me, passers don't see a lot of that from the left corner to the right side of the court.
Why didn't Ohio State go back to Jake Langlois after he just missed the pass?
Poor decision. Maybe it was a bad toss. We don't see the forward and back from our position. It may have been across his left shoulder and forced to take it line. I think Pete Hansen's having a little conversation with him right now about where to serve the ball. If you get somebody, get him again.
Hatch, the middle blocker for BYU, now serving. Johnson down the line again. 4 for 5 is Miles Johnson. And as you mentioned, at only 6'6", to use a basketball analogy, that's a pretty small lineup in the post, given what BYU can put in front of them. And then that ball missed out of bounds. Back-to-back service errors for the Buckeyes. Ohio State at 30-2 on the year. BYU at 27-3. Ohio State winners of 22 in a row. They have not lost since February 6th. Here's Patch. And the ball drops. A complete misplay by Jake Langlois, wearing number 10 in white for BYU, and a gift for Ohio State.
I hate this play. If the ball's on top of the net, get up there and hit that thing. You can see it's coming at you. Be aggressive at the net.
Nick Scherzen trying to get involved in this opening set. The player of the year so far, Kevin. 0 for 4 with an error, hitting negative. He's had no impact. And if you look up at the score, you go, wait a minute, best player in the country, and Ohio State's only down by 1.
He's had no in-system attacks. Everything has come against a 3-man off play. He's gotten nothing in system. If I'm the setter, I try and get him some in-system swings.
Langlois again, working on Scherzen.
And they're doing a good job of serving him, are the Cougars.
Franceschi again with that quick arm off the edge of the block and down, that time using the setter number 4, Leo Durkin.
Scherzen's getting taken out by all this serving. They're going short on him a few times. It doesn't allow him to line up, especially out of the back row for that Bick. Excellent job so far strategically by the Cougars.
Serving specialist Peter Edwards, another one of those University of Pacific transfers. 5 on the Ohio State roster after the University of Pacific program was disbanded. That ball just out of bounds. So now the service errors starting to add up for Ohio State.
How about for those Pacific players an opportunity to get themselves into a national championship match, because it was not going to happen with Pacific as it was constituted. They just didn't have the athletes. They come here, contribute to this program in their 2nd season, and they're on the big stage.
BYU opening set, best 3 out of 5, leading 19-18. A lot of out-of-system swings for Ohio State, and now they pay the price. Franceschi against 3 BYU blockers, and Pete Hansen and Ohio State will be forced to call their 2nd and last time out of the opening set. We'll step aside. The BYU fans getting into it here at Rec Hall in Penn State. Opening set, BYU on top by 2.
Header Heating and Cooling has been keeping your family and others comfortable for over 50 years. Need air conditioning service? Call 784-9200. If your old unit needs replacing, call Header Heating and Cooling today.
Thanks, Mom, for always being my #1 fan. Thanks for making time for make-believe, and for being the greatest mom from day one. This Mother's Day, 1-800-Flowers.com has something to help you express how you feel. Order today.
My choice of one of 5 tasty sandwiches and Rallies and Checkers seasoned fries for just $2? That's country club living for a backyard price. Pick a sandwich with seasoned fries for $2. Rallies and Checkers. Fast foodies know the deal.
Header Heating and Cooling has been keeping your family and others comfortable for over 50 years. Need air conditioning service? Call 784-9200. If your old unit needs replacing, call Header Heating and Cooling today.
Sunday night baseball tomorrow, of course, on Mother's Day. It's the Red Sox and the Yankees once again. This time it's from Yankee Stadium tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Ohio State and BYU, the Buckeyes won their only title right here back in 2011. On what day?
The same day.
May 7th. Yeah, BYU has won the national championship 3 separate times, 1999. And Sean Olmstead, who you see right there, the first-year head coach for BYU after a very successful stint as the head coach of the women's team, was on that, won a national championship in 2001 and 2004. Patch with an ugly dig, but it's the first contact again, so anything goes. Scherzen again out of the pipe and finally gets a kill.
That is why BYU has been serving Nicholas Scherzen, is to keep him out of this particular attack. This is a physical kid, just turned 18 recently. He's a young sophomore, but he's incredibly physical already. And BYU has nullified him except for that free ball opportunity.
Here is Johnson. And an ace serve once again. This is the second time that Jake Langlois has given up an ace. And a timeout called by BYU, tied at 20.
11th tie of this first set. And if you're Ohio State, we were talking earlier about Scherzen and the way he's played so far, you're feeling pretty good. Your service game has been working when you've been getting it in. And even though the ball's been off the net, your offense has been good enough. Their hitting percentage climbing. It's back near the 320 mark. And early in this match, it was not even close to that.
Miles Johnson has been doing a superb job so far for Ohio State. 4 of 5, also with an ace, but blocking again, and especially when you're talking about BYU is the story. But Ohio State's been okay so far.
They've had their opportunities. They've missed a few. Patch has gone over. That's no big deal. It's when he goes through that's the issue. And then BYU has 3 blocks, and we've seen a few of them come there with that 3-man block that they worked so hard to get into.
Mentioned that BYU was #1 in the nation at 3.1 stuff blocks per set. In other words, when a ball is blocked straight to the floor for a point, that's what we're alluding to. And when you look at Ohio State, only 1.9. That is a really big discrepancy and a very important part of men's volleyball.
Because of the way Ohio State serves, they're going to get fewer opportunities. The number of aces that they get, they'll have fewer opportunities to get stuff blocks. They'll have more free balls coming over the net. So that may account for part of that deficit. But certainly, BYU is the biggest, most physical team in the country, and there is no approximation for playing against them. There's no way to prepare. We talked to Pete Hansen about it. How do you prepare for playing the Cougars? What's the closest opponent you faced? Said, we haven't. That's it. These guys are unique.
Johnson again.
This is what they want him, way off the net.
Out to Sander, high up into the block. Johnson will track that down. Not a good set to the outside. Big opportunity missed by Ohio State. Scherzen with the dig, Johnson with the save, free ball coming. Patch again, virtually against no block.
Let's give a little bit of credit on this play to Michael Hatch. He runs right to his setter. Even though that ball is all the way over in that zone in the right front, he runs to his setter. He's a distraction and takes away part of the block for Ben Patch to come over the top.
Really good hard work by number 23 in white. Another big middle blocker and a service error that time by Leo Durkin.
All right, BYU 5 service errors, just 1 ace. They've kept him off the net and off balance, but I think Ohio State getting more out of their service game so far. 2 clean aces on 6 errors.
Pressure time in this all-important opening set, I think particularly for Ohio State. Franceschi again.
Another one pass.
Right over the top of the block by Brendan Sander. What a swing by number 15 in white.
Don't leave out Leo Durkin on this. This is Leo Durkin. He works as hard as any center I've ever seen at getting his hands on every ball. He will go anywhere on the court, work hard with his feet to get it into his hands.
Scherzen quickly on the left side, high up off the block, and will be tracked down by BYU. The whistle blows, and it was ruled outside the field of play, so this save by Sander will be nullified. Ohio State point in possession. Take a look at the most recent coaches poll. BYU, Ohio State, UCLA. Interesting in that Ohio State was ranked number 2, but they were the number 3 seed here in the final group of 6.
Well, the coaches got it right in terms of who.
Yeah, they did. Patch again over the top of the block. Number 13 in white registering another kill. Look at Patch's number, excuse me, Kevin, now 6 of 10 with 1 error.
Doesn't matter. Sometimes you can't stop him. Right there, you did everything you could. You simply can't stop him. Back up and side out for a point right now.
23-22 BYU. Scherzen rips down the line. Excellent choice developing the one-on-one.
Well, establishing the middle. Watch the BYU block here. 2 guys up on the middle, leaving your best hitter one-on-one. And it doesn't matter as big as Ben Patch is, you don't leave the National Player of the Year one-on-one.
Wow, with a very easy jump serve. Franceschi with the dig.
Nice bump set.
Good soft shot into the block to restart the point. Scherzen into the block again and stuffed.
Hey, this is a good swing. That is a solid volleyball swing. This is just a better block. That's way up in the hands. That is just nice handwork from Langlois again, getting over on the 3-man. Beautiful job by the young man who has not played a tremendous amount of volleyball.
Set point number 1 for BYU. Robbie Sutton, backup setter, 6'6" senior out of San Diego, will go back to serve.
Pete Hansen up already saying, watch the short stuff. See if Sutton goes short. Passers are prepared to charge that 10-foot line.
Tight pass. Blau goes up to get it. I'll tell you, that was very, very close to a lift, Kevin. What'd you think?
Yeah. My eyebrows went up and the whistle did not blow. But I'd rather the whistle not blow. Let them play. So what if it's a little sticky? The fewer stoppages in this game, the better in my mind. Let the players play.
Sticky was about the nicest thing you could say about that.
There's no advantage to it. You're not gaining an advantage.
I agree.
By mucking that ball a little bit.
There is Scherzen again. Timeout called by Sean Olmstead, first-year head coach at BYU, tied at 24.
You mentioned the fact that Sean Olmstead is a first-year head coach into the national title match. We had a couple of first-year coaches this year make the Super 6. For the first time in 17 years, Penn State, owners of this building, did not make the Super 6 postseason NCAA championship. They had won the EIVA year after year after year. And all of a sudden this year was first-year head coach Jay Hossick and George Mason rolling through to the EIVA title. And they gave Ohio State a pretty good run early in that match. They played well and showed that they are a force to be reckoned with in the EIVA. And talking to Mark Pavlik, head coach at Penn State, he said our conference is getting better for sure.
Yeah, Ohio State has really had to do a lot of work this week. We talked about the match against UCLA on Thursday night. 5 long sets. The final score, if you look at it, was 110 to 109. It couldn't have been any closer. 18-16 in the 5th set. Nick Scherzen serves up an ace. He's back at the line right now when we come out of this timeout. But before that, Ohio State really had to play hard to take out George Mason.
On the other side, here's the man who's been here forever, Pete Hansen, 32 years. Asked him, how much longer are you going to go, coach? And he definitely has a few more in him. He wants to see a whole nother generation of players go through his program, doing a simply remarkable job with that school in a place that is not volleyball rich on the junior side.
He told us he's got a very special recruit coming in next year that he thinks can move right into the starting lineup, and he'd like to go at least through his number of years in Columbus.
And he'll still have this guy, just a sophomore.
Here is Nick Scherzen, the player of the year, 60 aces on the season. Tied at 24. BYU has already had one set point. Little bit of a low toss. That was trouble from the very beginning.
And too far in front. Too far in front.
Set point number 2 for BYU. Langlois, who never played volleyball in high school. He was a golfer and a soccer player. Back to the line. Very easy serve. Leeson going behind off the perfect pass.
If BYU is going to take their foot off the serve, you better make them pay. Buckeyes did on that play.
Middle blocker after the kill. Leeson back to serve. He's already been pretty effective so far in this opening set. And again, free ball coming. Johnson able to tuck that ball. Oh, they called that ball down on Ohio State side. I thought that might have tucked inside BYU's block.
Well, this definitely came back. Question is it on the line? That thing is in.
That's a good block.
That ball is in.
Yeah, that's a great replay by our crew just outside. Set point again for BYU. Johnson right back off the block and out of bounds. Showing a lot of confidence against this big block.
Good job by Ohio State recovering from what was a huge missed opportunity. Generating the pressure off the serve. See if they can generate it again here.
And the ball is missed out of bounds. Scherzen and then Johnson both missed.
Last 3 serves, only 1 in, and that one gave BYU trouble. At least let your team play a little bit right now.
Service error starting to mount. Here is Durkin. Patch over the top of the block and just long. No touch detected. So BYU had an opportunity, missed that, and Ohio State has also had their chances in this opening set.
It's a case of a hitter trying to go OT deliberately rather than taking a big swing. He's doing everything he can to not get touched and go over the top, and he just missed the ball.
Franceschi tied once again, almost a foot fault, and another ball served out of bounds by Ohio State. There's way too many, Kevin.
I said before, you need to be you, but you also need to be smart. We said serve tough and serve smart at the very beginning of this match. The toughness has been there. The smart has been lacking in the last 3 or 4 serves.
Another set point for Sander and BYU, and he misses it down the line and out of bounds.
BYU serving in this first set has been well off.
9 service errors for Ohio State, now 6 for BYU. DeSuze, middle blocker, back to serve. Tied at 28. Combination play out of the back row, and Sander with another kill.
I like where this play is run. I love the fact that it's over from the middle. You take the right front out of any opportunity to be a part of that block because it's just too far from their base position.
Sander now 4 kills, make it 5 kills on 8 swings. Still no errors. Kirill Meritev out of Bulgaria, number 5 in white, back to serve for BYU. Set point number 5. Johnson again, high up off the top of the block. Johnson now 6 kills on 9 swings. He's really been carrying a heavy physical load, Kevin, for Ohio State.
Watch how high this swing is. Where does it hit the blockers? Right in the fingertips of Bryce Jarman.
Tied at 29. Blau back to serve. Didn't do much with his last opportunity. Pretty easy jump floater here. Outside, Langlois easily down the line, number 10 in white.
Now, I'm not sure what's going on blocking-wise there with Miles Johnson. He's tucked way inside and was completely surprised that the ball ended up outside.
Set point number 6. And missed out of bounds again. All right, Kevin. You're Pete Hansen. You haven't been there 32 years, but what do you tell Scherzen right now from the service line?
This is the one guy you let him rip it. The other ones I don't like to miss. This guy, let him go.
Langlois tipping. Langlois rejected by Leeson.
Here's what I love about what Nick Scherzen does from the line. This is a one play. There's nothing to be done here. They're going to get a bad swing. But even in big moments, he gets back there and hammers the ball. This kid is steely for a sophomore.
Set point number 1 for Ohio State. Free ball. Johnson over the top and down.
Grit and toughness. If you're going to win a national title, you need those qualities. We'll see if BYU has it. I think after the first set, we know Ohio State has it.
Miles Johnson had been bringing the heat all match long so far, and then he goes to the change of pace. Ohio State fought off 6 set points to take the opener, 32-30.
I take pictures of sunrises, but with my back pain, I couldn't sleep and get up in time. Then I found Aleve PM.
Aleve PM is the only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour pain-relieving strength of Aleve.
I'm back.
Aleve PM for a better AM.
Windows 10 is great because I need to keep organized. Anything that makes my life easier, I'm using. Hey Cortana, remind me we have a play date tomorrow at noon. I need that in my world.
Thanks for coming today. I want each of you to grab a 2x8 and cut it. You'll have 2 saws to choose from. You all chose the best tool for the job. Wouldn't it make sense to make the same choice when it comes to your truck?
Absolutely.
This is the 2016 Chevy Silverado.
Nice.
A good-looking pickup. Incredible. I love it.
Find your tag and get a total value of $9,000 on this Silverado Double Cab All-Star. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
$12 is all that's standing between you and a good time. Dine and drink, happening now. Pick your entree and pair it with a cocktail, wine, or beer for just $12. Dine and drink, only at Fridays.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance. A monster dunk or no-look pass. And cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success. And prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
Back to Rec Hall once again in Happy Valley, Penn State University, Ohio State on top of BYU in a thrilling opening set, 32-30. Back with Kevin Barnett, I'm Paul Sunderland, and now an old friend and a very special guest, Don Shaw. We hear your son is pretty good, but we'll talk about that in a moment. 4 times an NCAA championship head coach on the women's side at Stanford University. Your son, James, congratulations, a first-team All-American again. What do you think of that opening set? Pretty good stuff.
I was waiting to see one team find some kind of rhythm one way or another, but it never really happened. But you know, to see Scherzen only get 3, and the third kill was that tip at the very end. Other than that, he wasn't really much of a factor. But Ohio State finds a way to serve their way back into sets, you know, where they get a few points behind, and then suddenly there they are, you know, right back in it again.
And they find a way to survive those service errors late in that set. The exciting thing is their best hitter hasn't gone off. Johnson off to a good start. We'll just have to see if the Ohio State offense can get back on track.
Right.
This is going to be tough for BYU. Now tell me a little bit about, if you put on your coach's hat for a second, and BYU, you're the national team, national number one. You're the favorite coming in. You have the physicality. You feel like you're the better team. You lose that first set in the way they did. How did they mentally recover now? What do you say in the huddle?
Well, I think what they need to do is just, settle in, and I think they need to spend a little more time paying attention to Johnson. I mean, they've let him go out there. They gave him line earlier in that set, and they need to spend a little more time worrying about him. And then, from an offensive standpoint, if I was them, I'd try to use the middle a little bit just to change things up.
And they got to start serving the ball better. That seems like the obvious.
Yeah, that's something that's been kind of the thing for them. Even though they've been dominant all year long, serving has not been one of their big things.
Right, but they've been better of late against Long Beach State. 6 aces, only 9 errors.
Well,
and when you block as well as they do, you got to serve the ball in the court.
They've cut down on errors. They're not necessarily more effective, serving that much tougher, but they haven't been just giving away points like they were earlier in the year.
I think you saw in the middle of that first set, when they're serving the ball in with a little bit of pace and hitting somebody, then they can get on them and give you some trouble. Ohio State was off the net getting blocked, but that went away. The errors crept in.
I thought Ohio State did a better job of utilizing their middle attack a little bit just to keep things honest, as opposed to BYU, who just hasn't gone to them at all. They kind of rely on their pin hitters, and they're usually pretty effective.
Miles Johnson, who was superb in that opening set, had the nice off-speed kill to close out set number 1, 32-30. Patch through the block and down.
The talent level out here, there's some great players in men's volleyball and collegiate volleyball these days, and that's a perfect example right there of the kind of ability that Ben Patch has.
Don, I know you're out here for meetings about the sport of men's volleyball. Give us kind of an update on where people feel this game is headed.
Well, it's so hard with men's volleyball on the collegiate level, because of come on, Barney, you can play that. The men's level, it's hard to add men's sports these days, because of Title IX and all the, opportunities that are growing for women. And men's volleyball is just such a unbelievable. I mean, here we are, we're sitting here watching a great match with some unbelievable talent out there. The talent pool is so small right now at the Division I level, but we're still producing national teams that are just performing unbelievably internationally. So, gosh, it'd be great to see a few more programs added at the Division I level for sure.
Quickly about your son James, who again, congratulations on his much-deserved selection as a first-team All-American. But he will now be moving on, turning pro, going on possibly to the national team.
Yeah, in fact, I think he might have just signed with an agent today. While I've been
You're not his agent?
No, I'm not his agent. I probably should be, but I don't have the knowledge that that he's already done his homework. He's no dummy, that's for sure. He's got a lot of national team teammates that have played now overseas, agents, and he's gotten a lot of feedback, and I think he's settled on an agent. But we were meeting with a few while we were here this week.
You should have told him I'm taking 10%, that I'm owed a little bit of repayment here. I got money in.
10%'s way too high. You're not going to be signed.
Don, thanks so much for spending time with us.
Yeah, it's
really appreciate it. Congratulations once again.
So far, I hope it just stays, this awesome all the way through.
Yeah, I think we got a long way to go.
All right, good to see you, Don. Yep.
Don Shaw, 4 times a national champion, during his tenure as the head coach at Stanford University. And to catch you up on this, BYU leading 5-3 here in the second, just underway. Paul Sunderland with Kevin Barnett and Leo Durkin, the setter for BYU, back to serve. Scherzen quickly off of Durkin. Both of these teams just lit it up offensively, which was no surprise. BYU hit 345 in the opening set. Ohio State 371. But Nick Scherzen, again to repeat, the National Player of the Year, number 9 in red for Ohio State. Pretty quiet for the Buckeyes in the opening set.
And that's a good sign for the Buckeyes, considering they picked up the win, because that's the kind of hitter, even if he gets off to a tough start, he can come right back. Good one-on-one battle right there. That might be a preview of some international matches coming up. Brendan Sander hitting against Scherzen. And you talk about hitting percentage, Paul. The finishing hitting percentage for Ohio State was 371. When we were in the mid part of that first set, Ohio State was hitting 250. It gives you some idea how they hit in the second half of that set.
That's a good call by the official. Off the block into the antenna, but they're going to convene here. This is Luis Ventura, who is the head referee. The second referee is Brian Hemmelgard. What did you see there, Kevin?
I think it went off the hands and hit the antenna.
I agree completely.
As it was called, I thought it was a good call.
Yep, I agree completely. Sander will go back to serve now with 7 kills on 11 swings and still no errors. A first-team All-American this year, following in the footsteps of his brother Taylor Sander, a 4-time All-American at BYU and now a member of the United States Olympic team. Good play. That ball is stuffed straight down. Good blocking once again out of the middle by Price Jarman.
They're going to switch it here.
I thought
Late
so.
signal. It snuck through. Yeah, it hit off the right shoulder of Jarman, and it was really a nice job of changing the direction of the ball that time.
I saw it down on BYU's side, but the first referee pointed the wrong way.
No, Gassus did a good job because he was covered by Patch.
Franceschi's been really good, number 2 in red for Ohio State. Another stuck block. Bryce Jarman along with Ben Patch with some help from Lang Loys.
Your roll shot's going to have to be a little higher against BYU, and that's the simulation factor. Have you faced a block like this all year long? No. So you've never had to hit your roll shot, which is usually a good shot, as high as you have to against the Cougs.
That's 6'9", 6'9", 6'10". Johnson with a stuff block. Lang Loys once again one-on-one.
Earlier we saw Johnson keeping the ball high. Here, I think it's a little in front of him, and that one's a little low. It's off the forearm, almost the elbow on the outside with Lang Loys.
Jarman will continue to serve. Once again, Jake Lang Loys, 6'10" junior out of San Jose, California. Such an interesting story. His volleyball background is a very short story. Good
Nobody
kill on the overpass. Yeah,
Patch was way under the net.
Yeah.
All you have to do is step on him. If you're alert in the middle here, just step on him. Watch Patch. He's way under the net. Kick him or something. Get interfered with.
Take the offensive foul, if you will. Create some contact. Lang Loys again.
I would call a timeout if I'm Ohio State and I lose this point.
That ball set way too tight, but smartly tipped over the top of the block. Johnson another kill. BYU leading 8-7 after Ohio State won the opening set. 32-30.
I'm gonna have to check in with Lloyd Ball and see if that qualifies as a pineapple all the way to the deep corner.
Tight pass, 2 hands straight down by Scherzen.
Again, the serving. Ohio State living and dying by the service game.
This is the setter, Christy Blau. Does something that I've really never seen before that I want to ask you about, Kevin. We'll get to that after this play. Patch again over the top. Perfect dig. Boy, that is a setting error by Blau, but Blau wears a mouthpiece. Have you ever seen that before?
No, I have not, and the reason he wears it is new in this year. In February, he played against Long Beach State, dove for a ball, in practice, dove for a ball, jersey caught, and everyone's had this happen where your jersey catches and it slams your face to the floor. Most of us end up with a split chin and some stitches. He had fractured teeth all the way across, has had some pretty serious dental problems since, so he's wearing a mouth guard. Make sure that doesn't happen in the future.
Beautiful delivery by number 5, Blau, to Leeson, number 11, out of the middle as Scherzen will go back to serve. Tied at 9. Thanks for joining us for the 2016 NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship. Ohio State, the winners of the MIVA, the Midwest Intercollegiate Volleyball Association. And Sanders still stays nearly perfect with the kill. BYU at 27-3, the winners of the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. There's the bracket once again. Ohio State ranked number 2, but seeded 3rd here. Had a lot of work to do against George Mason, and then went into overtime to beat the UCLA Bruins 18-16 in the 5th. Leeson delivering the facial to Patch.
Ohio State is handling the ball efficiently in the second set. Ben Patch's going to have to shake off a straight right. I'd set Ben Patch right now.
Sander roll shot over the top, ball dug tight to the net. Franceschi is blocked and Leeson could not cover. BYU back on top, 11-10. Leeson has been really good, and again, one of the keys for Pete Hansen and the Buckeyes was getting the middles involved. Early in this second set, he already has 6 kills. He doesn't even average 2%.
And that's the ball handling making that possible. Again.
Down the line, that ball shanked out of bounds by Blau. Knew that he should have had that.
BYU playing a little defense this time on the quick. Langlois, and sometimes you have to do that. You can't get out of the way, and you have to just climb back and hope it doesn't get all the way up into your chest.
Scherzen, tight passes saved by Blau, and Driss Jesus able to put that ball straight to the floor.
How many times has he gotten Dr. Jesus in his lifetime? Beautiful job by Blau to save it.
And Johnson, who was so good offensively and from the service line in the opening set, struggling a little bit here. Number 13 in red. Once again, the 6'6" junior out of Carlsbad, California. Averaged 3.7 kills per set.
Kind of reminded me of the big new Bartman there on the opposite right now. Not the biggest player, but some fire and ripping the ball. That needs to continue for Ohio State.
Ohio State again. Jesus and Leeson doing a magnificent job out of the middle. Did you just pull out as a big new Bartman?
Bartman, for those that are educated, they will remember. And I love this. Not only the fact they're going the middle, but that the coaches said go to the middle. Right. Sometimes it gets lost between the coaching staff and the actual floor. Ohio State executing the game plan.
Patch well off the net and going off the edge of Blau that time again. Good out-of-system swing by number 13.
Field goal. Second one I've seen in this second set. That one going right off the head of the setter, Blau.
Just to finish the thought on Zbigniew Bartman, to bring our viewers up to speed, a real star for the Polish national team, the reigning world champions, unfortunately injured and no longer with their team.
I think you might want to stop tipping against BYU.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting thrown back.
You got to go way up over the penthouse in order to get the ball past BYU. Timeout called by Ohio State, up 1-0. But here come the Cougars, up 15-12 in the second.
I don't wait for anything. I get what I want when I want it. No exceptions. Steak. That's why I use the Faster mobile app from Fifth Third Bank. It lets me check my balance without logging in. Fish.
We took the weight out of banking. Fifth Third Bank.
Make time this spring to escape to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where the only thing you'll want to do is have fun in the sun. Let the sound of the ocean's tide take all your cares away and leave you refreshed to experience something new. It's your moment to let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Second set, BYU on top of Ohio State, 15-12 for the NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship. And while we've got a moment, let's take a look at the Capital One Cup standings update as teams compete for a combined $400,000 in scholarship donation from Capital One. Stanford Cardinal currently on top, followed by Clemson. Alabama, North Dakota State there as well. Penn State. That is the current Capital One Cup standings, $400,000 in scholarship money as Sander will go back to serve.
Number falling off for Ohio State. Their side out percentage, 66% in this second set. It was 80 in set number 1. And unfortunately for them, BYU going the other direction at 83, up from 75.
Scherzen, number 9, a much needed kill off the left side.
I'd streak him the ball a little bit right now. 7 kills on 15 attempts. Trying to be around the mid 250 mark. but I would give him the ball across the front row here.
Here's Gashus. Patch on a whiff.
Losing the lights.
Somebody open a door. That's probably the first and last time you'll ever see that from number 13. But most importantly, Ohio State back-to-back points to get back within one. And the middles, Kevin, for Ohio State have been superb, and that was one of the keys. 11 of 14 with no errors.
More bad passing for the Cougars. Ohio State needs to take advantage now.
Scherzen is stuffed once again.
This is what the Cougars will do. Langlois manages a tough opportunity, puts it on the opponent because they're going to make this happen on the other side. Big three-man block, and it pays off. Conservative volleyball, mistake-free volleyball. Something that is a part of the gold medal squared edict and was brought to the national team by Hugh McCutcheon and the godfather, Carl McGowan.
Another kill out of the middle, this time by Leeson. When you say gold medal squared, what's the general approach?
It's an error-free philosophy, but not just that. It's an all-encompassing way to play the game when it comes to minimizing excess movement in passing, in hitting, in approach angles. It is a total system of how to play this game. It's very popular and has been tremendously successful.
Langlois down the line once again. BYU really struggling with their serve receive, but able to get out of that rotation.
And this is why BYU's strength plays well when you're having service problems. They're outside hitters. They can still crush the ball and make smart decisions, even when the ball is way off the net, as we've seen the last few times.
Tim Dobert, 6'10" sophomore out of Germany, will come in to replace Patch. That is Robbie Sutton, backup setter out of San Diego. Dobert up front, adding some more size for BYU if that's possible.
It is, and they have.
Middle again. Leeson having a huge match. Leeson now 8 of 9, hitting just under 900 so far in the match.
I like Ohio State attacking the gaps with the quick. Force the BYU middles to front where you're at. That time the middle blocker stayed right in the middle of the court, did not front for three.
Nick Scherzen, after a very slow start, has really found his way back into this match in the second set with a service error there. But you say, no matter what the score, no matter what the situation, he's got the green light every time.
He does. Other people, even though you're the team that rips it all the time, you might want to manage it just a bit. This guy, have at it. He's the Clay Stanley of their team.
Free ball. And Brendan Sander one-on-one against Johnson.
Now Johnson's got to realize he's one-on-one there and make a big jump inside. He has to make a bigger blocking move. He's too passive here. And he's late. He's got to be quicker and he's got to be bigger in the seam.
Brendan Sander now in double figures with 10 kills, leading BYU here in the second set.
Pain from your day can haunt you at night. Don't let it. Advil PM gives you the healing sleep you need, helping you fall asleep and stay asleep so your body can heal as you rest. Advil PM for a healing night's sleep.
Cookies and ice cream meant to be together.
Yeah, I wish I could find who I was meant to be with.
What about that dating app? Have you gone out with any of these girls?
What do you think I am, desperate?
Well, you're on an app called I'm Desperate.
Oh, so I am.
Introducing Cookie Master Blasts. And get a free slush when you download the new Sonic app.
This is how precision listens. Bose microphones that hear engine noise, then counter it with a sound-canceling frequency, which helps make the cabin so quiet, you don't miss a thing.
Night, Dad.
Good night, kiddo.
It's called active noise cancellation, and it's available in the new, meticulously crafted 2016 Sierra from GMC. This is the precision of professional grade. Now get 15% below MSRP on select GMC Sierra 1500 models in stock. That's nearly $9,000 on this GMC Sierra Denali.
Sunday on ABC, we've got Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. LeBron James and the Cavaliers take on the Atlanta Hawks at Phillips Arena, looking for a 4-games-to-none sweep. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown, presented by Straight Talk Wireless at 3 Eastern. The game is also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Back with All-American and two-time Olympian Kevin Barnett. I'm Paul Sunderland. BYU on top 19-16 if you're just joining us. In a thrilling opening set, Ohio State staved off 6 set points, won the opening set 32-30. Johnson finding a small seam.
That ball found a small seam between myself and Karen, our stage manager. Almost had it.
You're not as good at the defensive end as you used to be.
It was never my strength. No announcers were harmed in the making of that last point, just in case anyone was concerned.
Pete Edwards on to serve now for Ohio State. And on the back row quick once again, Jake Langlois. I started to tell the story. Langlois' dad played volleyball at BYU, but this young man was a golfer and a soccer player in high school. He played in church leagues, which are very popular in the Mormon faith. But how do you make that transition to this level?
I like the two sports. I like what they do, and the 6'10", of course, but rotation of golf and the feet of soccer makes a pretty good volleyball player.
I think the first thing you said, the 6'10", was most important. Off the block and down, Miles Johnson with the kill. My partner Kevin Barnett, two-time Olympian in Sydney and in Athens, 187 international matches and a two-time All-American at Pepperdine. After matriculating from Chicago, BYU on top 20-18. Here's Johnson.
Time to make a move if you're Ohio State. You got to take advantage of these opportunities.
Johnson with a little bit of room. And someone up in the stands for BYU. Boy, this is reminiscent of Wrigley Field.
Is that Bartman up there? It's the second Bartman reference, but a different guy.
Wow. Watch. Yeah, that's interference.
You can't do that.
Yeah, that's going to be a replay.
Even in the Smith Fieldhouse, this needs to get called. That is in the field of play. That is straight down.
Yeah, that's got to be
in front of that fencing.
Yeah, that's got to be a replay.
Now, I don't think you toss her, but
no.
They would in Major League Baseball these days. Oh, she's getting a little pat on the back from Dad, and she's sinking pretty low in her seat. That's the reaction of anybody with a ball coming
Yeah,
there.
of course. Clearly fan interference, and you got to replay that point. A quick look at Sean Olmstead. Mentioned it was his first year as the men's head coach. A very successful tenure as the BYU women's head coach. Took them to the NCAA finals in 2014. And his sister Heather has now taken over as the women's head coach. Here is Johnson again, replaying that point. Patch over the top.
He's over
by Scherzer.
He's over.
He violated the 10-foot line.
He was outside the court and over.
See the 10-foot line back from the center line, and as a back row attacker, you must take off with both feet fully behind that line to be legal. So point to Ohio State. They are now within one, up 1-0. We'll stay here during this timeout. BYU really struggling with their serve receive, Kevin. How do they straighten that out?
You got to move your feet. And what you have to do, what I would do as a receiver, it's a change in mentality. Instead of playing the ball or letting the ball play you, you have to play the ball. So if it's a jump float, you have to go get it. Put your arms out to it. Make a move. And if the ball's imperfect, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be close. I think right now BYU's receivers are a little bit on their heels and a little rattled. They're going to have to get back to playing the ball rather than letting the ball play them.
And one of the keys for Ohio State, they're passing the ball at a much higher level. That means they're getting their middles, Leeson, and in particular, Driss Gessius involved in the middle as well, putting up a lot of good numbers.
And to be honest, Ohio State has missed out on a lot of opportunities here. You're right. They've been handling the ball beautifully and getting the middles involved. They also have been serving tough and keeping BYU off the net, but they've missed some easy digs. They've missed some easy transition points. This could be a situation where BYU's calling timeout because OSU is up 23-20 if they had played a couple of fairly easy balls to handle. I love that they have the middles, including Gessius involved here. 5 kills, 7-14. Get him the ball more. Keep feeding him.
And Leeson is 8 of 9.
Feed him.
Ohio State up a set, trailing by 1.
Ben Patch is only hitting 250, so you've got their best hitter out, and you're throwing the service pressure.
Ace serve down the line. That was perfect location for Johnson. Third ace for Ohio State, comes right back and misses that one into the top of the net. So point possession back to BYU, leading at 21-20.
This is where we saw the grit and determination of the Buckeyes in set 1. Can they do it again?
Here's the setter, Leo Durkin. Back to Johnson, off the block and out of bounds. Boy, Bryce Jarman, number 1 in white, was all over that.
That is a lucky bounce for Ohio State. That is just off the edge of the hands. Fortunate break.
Here's Franceschi, started out this match serving very well, putting on a lot of pressure.
Another tough one.
And Patch, the unforced error, looking at number 13's numbers. One of the best hitters in the country, Kevin, now 8 kills on 17 swings with 5 errors. And on the season, he hits .389. Way below the numbers that he usually puts up for the BYU Cougars.
There are lots of teams in this country that can't get an outside hitter to hit above 300. USC has been searching for it for years for a season. This team has 3 guys that do it and 2 that go near 400. And right now, Ben Patch is way off. That ball's a little out of character for BYU. Normally, they just give you the ball back rather than taking that aggressive off the net swing.
So Patch is struggling, but one of the things that always makes up for it, and as you said, eventually the size gets you. BYU continues to show you why they're the best blocking team in the country this year.
Just look at the numbers, 11-2. And a lot of them have come via those tip shots. I can think of at least 2 or 3 that have been thrown back the other direction, and a host of others that have nearly been covered by OSU. There's no doubt the BYU block has been doing its job. It makes that error by Ben Patch, which is out of character for that team and that system, all the more egregious at this moment in the match.
What an opportunity for Ohio State. Ben in a bit of a bad patch.
You'll be here till tomorrow?
I am.
You'll be here all night, folks. Love that.
Ohio State up a set, leading 22-21. Christian Franceschi, 6'3" senior, out of Florida, back to serve. One of the transfers from the University of the Pacific.
Taking his time.
Good set to Patch, over the top of the block and out of bounds.
This is Ohio State keeping you off the net and giving you problems. They may not have the aces, just 3 so far, but they certainly have wreaked havoc on the receive of the Cougars.
Ohio State on an 8-3 run after trailing 18-15. Where do you go? Why not? Into the middle once again to Gashus. The middle blockers for Ohio State, one of the early keys, have been almost unstoppable. And now the first of 3 set points for Ohio State. BYU was the favorite. BYU was a big favorite. And that ball served out of bounds. Maybe a foot fault. So would have been nullified in any case. Sander back to serve on the year, 31 aces. Set point number 2 for the Buckeyes.
Good 70% serve.
Patch with a save. Do you come to Scherzer, the player of the year? No! That ball hit out of bounds. Hit straight down by Gashus, but out of bounds. Ohio State did not like the call.
I like the set. Go to the middle. This is where you need to go. That ball is in.
That ball is in.
That ball is in. This set should be over.
Wow. that ball was in. Internationally, there is a replay system that would have been utilized, and it would have shown that ball was hit straight down. But there is no such replay system in collegiate volleyball.
That ball is clearly,
absolutely.
That's not even the outside part of the line. That is definitely part of the faux wood.
Now, what
Ohio State has to shake it off.
Absolutely.
That's what they have to do. And this is where I love the timeout from Pete Hansen. Call the timeout. Remind your team of what they should be focused on right now, which is just pass the ball, because the serve is not going to be that hard. Let's go back a couple of plays ago and look at the role of Gabriel Demekis. Love this. That ball overpass came over. He called it from far away and said, I'm coming in to play that ball. That's your middle linebacker right there. They talk about the setter in football comparisons being the quarterback of the offense. This is your middle linebacker, your libero. He has to take control of the defense, and when it's an overpass, a free ball situation, that's the guy you want handling the ball. He needs to be aggressive and rangy, just like a middle linebacker.
Ohio State looking for their second ever national championship. They won their first on this date in 2011, 3-2 over Santa Barbara. BYU has won the title 3 times, the last coming in 2004. BYU, the first time they have returned to the national championship match since they lost to University of California, Irvine in 2013. Set point number 3 for Ohio State. They won the opening set 32-30. Sander must keep this serve in. Hey, misses it. And the second set goes to the upset-minded Ohio State Buckeyes. Yes, Kevin, they're ranked number 2 in the country, but every expert, we both agreed that BYU was clearly the favorite in this particular championship match.
It has been a gritty performance by Ohio State, over 20 points. They have finished sets, and that's why they lead the national championship match 2-0. They have shown the grit and determination of a champion. It's up to BYU to respond.
Hey, America! I'm getting fired up for Golden Corral's new Fired Up Favorites. It's endless ribs, wings, and tenders, and bold new flavors like habanero, sriracha, garlic parmesan, and classic buffalo. Fired Up Favorites only at Golden Corral.
Look, this isn't easy for me either, but it just feels right.
This isn't how we raised you.
You never wanted to try it?
Enough.
You must have known I was a little different.
Not this different.
Start your own legacy with the power of infinity. Now through June 30th, lease the QX50 for $319 a month.
Sunday Night Baseball, Red Sox, Yankees, Sunday at 8 on ESPN.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA's consent is prohibited.
When your equipment doesn't work, it ruins your day. That's why at Troy Building, we do everything we can to break our products here, so they won't let you down here.
When we say we can't find anything to do, maybe we're just looking in the wrong place.
Ohio State up 2-0 over BYU, 32-30, 25-23. Back with Kevin Barnett, the Ohio State Buckeye fans, as you might imagine, Kevin, very excited what has transpired, but still a long way to go as we start over at 0 in set number 3.
Pete Hansen knows that. He's been in these matches before over the 30-plus years he's been at the helm. It's up to BYU to come back, but it's also up to Ohio State to maintain their level. Keep doing what they've been doing. They've been serving the ball incredibly tough, and while you don't see it in the aces, 3 aces, 14 errors. If you just looked at that, you'd say, well, that's out of balance. You're almost talking 1 to 5. But what is in balance is the pressure that it's creating for BYU. As we look at the stats through 2 sets, Ohio State's hitting percentage has gone up and up from the beginning part of this match when they struggled. They've overcome this 11 block number with the service aces and with some off plays. Really doing a nice job of playing volleyball and keeping the pressure on BYU.
Look, not to put it on one young man, but can Ben Patch, who was one of the leading offensive players all season long in the nation, 4.4 kills, hitting .389. He's hitting .111. Can BYU win with him playing the way he is?
I think they're close enough. They're going to have a couple other players step up and get more kills, and it may come from the middle, or maybe it comes from Brendan Sander and his streak him. But what you'd like to do in this set early is find out, can you get number 13 in white going? Can you start to turn it around? Because he's the kind of hitter that could all of a sudden kill 10 straight. And we'd be talking about a percentage at the end of the set that looks pretty good.
Johnson over the top, and Durkin unable to follow up, and Demikas with a really good pass once again at the libero.
The dangerous thing for BYU, being the favorite coming into this match, is the momentum and the confidence that Ohio State has right now, leading 2 sets to none. It is easy for this set to get away from BYU in a hurry. Keep an eye on the race to 10 here for these 2 teams. That's a good set.
Another very poor pass for BYU and an early chance for Ohio State. Into the middle once again. Gashus and Leeson, Blake Leeson, who's going back to serve. Their numbers are just off the charts good for Ohio State.
And this is a straight read with some help. There's no commit. Middle makes a move away. Setter is there by himself. That is a mismatch. I love what the setter is doing, Christy Blau.
Ace serve for Leeson.
I said watch the first 10 points. If it keeps going like this, it's going to get ugly for BYU. It's already pumping the way of the Buckeyes. And when you have a team like BYU that's been as dominant as they have not coped with this situation much, where they are on the brink of elimination early in a match.
Leeson and Ohio State up 3-1, just underway here in the 3rd. Ohio State leading 2 sets to none. Again, another out-of-system swing. Good dig by Blau, saved by Franceschi. Patch straight down into the middle of the court. Talk about a mismatch.
Only one time this year has BYU lost the first and second, and they lost the match. So they're going to have to change their own history from this season. They're going to come back in this championship.
BYU 27-3 on the year. Their only setbacks to Stanford, Long Beach State, and Pepperdine. Scherzen on the combination play. No touch detected. That ball ruled out of bounds. Tied at 3. Bryce Jarman, 6'9" sophomore out of Las Vegas, the 4th best blocker in the country at 1.4 stuff blocks per set. Back at the line. Easy serve, perfect pass. And the ball is stuffed by Gashus, working on Sander.
You know, Gashus is going to be out there in the middle, but those are the big arms of number 13 in the red, Miles Johnson. That ball was a little tight, and Johnson was all over it.
Gashus had 5 stuff blocks against the UCLA Bruins on Thursday night in that thrilling 5-set victory, 18-16 in the 5th. A rare kill out of the middle, that time by Michael Hatch. The middle attackers for BYU, not much in the offensive mix for the Cougars.
We're going to get a good look at this ball here and see if it came up. That one looks like it's off the ground. But something's happening on Ohio State's side that I don't like. The assistant coaches, the bench players, everyone on the floor is focused on the referees. They feel like they're getting a raw deal in this match because they had one bad call. The other calls have been good by the referees. it is a bad thing for a team when you start to focus on stuff that is not within your control. OSU, settle down, play volleyball. It doesn't matter how many times you yell at the referees. They're not changing their call for you.
Here's Franceschi. Ohio State leading 5-4. Must-win situation for BYU. And Patch is stuffed on the outside. That time by Christy Blau along with Driss Gashus.
Notice the contrast in style here. How many blockers are there? Easy play, knew it was going to the outside. Only 2. I have not seen a lot of triple blocks from OSU, where BYU works every opportunity they have.
Franceschi misses into the top of the tape.
I'd like to see Ohio State, especially when you're talking about Nicholas Schergen, to get more 3-man opportunities.
Ohio State 4 aces, 15 errors. BYU a singular ace along with 10 errors.
But again, that number not telling the whole story.
Good high flat shot by Schergen. Nicholas Schergen, 6'4", sophomore, hit .395 on the year, which is absolutely superb as an outside attacker, the National Player of the Year.
He's been tearing up the Ohio State record book, and he's just a sophomore kid who started playing at the age of 6. Both parents professional players, his father a coach, destined to be good at this game.
Langlois over the top. Just back to Scherzen for a moment. Comes from France, and now the French national team, one of the very, very best in the world. They just won the World League this last year down in Brazil, upset any number of teams. And once they qualify, still have some work to do, but they'll go into Rio as one of the favorites.
And doing it with a player that people will remember from NCAA championships, Kevin Tilly, son of now head coach Laurent Tilly there in France. There is no doubt that collegiate men's volleyball in the United States, as small as it is, as Don Shaw talked about, is not only contributing to the national team here, but other national teams around the world in the professional scene. The level of the players, the level of this match is high and has grown tremendously in the last decade.
Right side to Patch, beautifully over the top. Kevin Tilly, an All-American at the University of California, Irvine, and a national champion as Patch goes back to serve. Looking at his numbers now, 10 of 21. Hitting 143. That's an efficiency number. Kills minus errors divided by attempts. Hitting 143. He hits 389 on the year. Has struggled all match long. Johnson down the line again. Ohio State leading 9-7 for Miles Johnson. 14 kills, 24 swings.
What a set on that play. Watch this set. This is the National Player of the Year. Maybe it should be the setter of the year. It's important what your offsetters do. If they're able to handle the ball and get you a good swing, wonderful job by the outside hitter, Nicholas Schergen.
Ace serve by Scherzen. His first of the match. Timeout called by BYU. So a huge upset underway. Ohio State on top of BYU 2-0. And after this ace, leading 10-7 in the third.
Didn't I tell you to decorate their Buick? You did, but that's not a Buick. Yes, it is. Oh. Buick makes a convertible. So, which car did you decorate? Uh-oh.
The all-new Cascada. It's a convertible. And yes, it's a Buick.
Now current lessees, switch to Buick and get this low-mileage lease on this all-new Cascada convertible for around $369 per month.
This is why we love sports. It's in the way they play, free from the pressures and all the money talk. Playing for simply the love of the game, where everyone has a shot at their definition of success on and off the field. This is what we love about sports, and what we can still love about college sports.
Sunday night baseball coming up tomorrow. It's the Red Sox and the Yankees once again. This time it's from Yankee Stadium tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Ohio State up 2-0 and 10-7 here in the third.
They've been ripping the serve since the second set. It's not just about clean aces. Those are nice. It's about bad opportunities for your opponent. Overpasses and opportunities for your offense. Ohio State said they had to play the brand of volleyball that got them here. They're doing it.
But still a long way to go against a very explosive team in BYU. Scherzen ripping another ace. That's ace number 62 on the year.
And it brings a smile to the face of Pete Hansen. I love the way this kid serves, not only because it produces aces and points, but think back to that UCLA match. The whole match is on the line. They've survived 3 match points. He gets a shot at it. What does he do? He goes for it with confidence. Still ripping with confidence, and BYU is absolutely on their heels.
And BYU has changed their libero. We'll cover that in a moment. Evan Chang, number 3, has come on to try to shore up the passing as Eric Sykes has moved over to the sideline. There is Chang.
And here it is around the 10-point mark. What's happening to the momentum? You can feel it. It's going away from BYU. They don't have a lot of other seasoned options on their side.
Scherzen! And that's going to be a double contact. On the second contact, a lift called. And Sean Olmstead has to burn a timeout with Ohio State. Their fans on fire here in Happy Valley. Scherzen with a couple of aces. Ohio State leading 13-7, up 2-0. Wow.
When it comes to guarding your engine, AMSOIL offers the next level performance enthusiasts demand. AMSOIL provides 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard, extending the life of pistons and cams. Give the vehicle you love the above and beyond protection it deserves. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
Any questions?
Yo, elbow patches. Why you gotta complicate things? Uncle Richie's math is simple. Dodge Durango RT has heavy V8 power, generating 360 horses for the driver, 2 Blu-ray screens for the kids. And Dodge Journey's 8.4-inch touchscreen, biggest in its class.
Class dismissed. Get you some of that.
Now get $3,500 total cash allowance on the purchase of a 2016 Dodge Journey.
Ohio State is 30-2 on the year, and when you have a record like that, you put together a pretty significant winning streak at 22. This Ohio State team has not lost since February 6th. That was to Ball State, 3-2. Pete Hansen in his 32nd year, the National Coach of the Year. Very calm on the sideline, but he's got to be churning. Won a national championship, I say only once. Been there 32 years. He's won a national championship in 2011 in this building on this exact date.
He cracked a smile off one of those last aces from Nicholas Scherzen. And if there was any doubt about who the National Player of the Year should have been for those that did not see Ohio State this year, Nick answering those questions with his serve in this tournament.
Another big substitution for BYU. Ben Patch has gone to the sideline, replaced by Tim Daubert, number 16 in white. Ohio State in control here in the third. First set won by the Buckeyes 32-30. They were able to stave off 6 set points for BYU. Scherzen is just on fire from the service line.
Oh, a net violation. BYU touched the net on the way back that time, uncalled.
Landlois down the line, and remember that one. I did not see it, Kevin. What did you see happen?
On that big attack from Ohio State, somebody from BYU, the ball was well above the net, clipped the net on their way down. Nobody saw it.
Well, missed call, no call. Ohio State leading now 13-8. Here's Langlois. Johnson into the block and stuffed. Three-man block once again. Leo Durkin, the setter, number 4, along with Jarman and number 15, Sander.
As much as the momentum has swung for Ohio State, BYU, the way that they block, how big they are, no lead is safe at this juncture, just 4 points.
Pete Hansen up off the sideline. If they don't get out of this rotation, which they don't, does he have to take a timeout?
I might let it go one more. He's up talking to his team. He's on the sideline. I'd let it go one more point. You have 2. You could burn 1. BYU's out, so they're done. You could burn 1 at 13-11 if that happens.
Overpass. And missed out of bounds by Jarman. Wow. Remember that play. That is a 2-point switch.
This is a terrible feeling for the guy who did it, but also the server who generated the overpass to watch that happen.
A huge break for Ohio State, on top by 4. Here is Leeson. Ball set inside. Scherzen late. Christy Blau, the setter, released, and Scherzen was late covering in the right back position.
I'd like to see Blau take this, but it's a good tip. It just happens to go to exactly the right spot. Blau thinks about it and it goes over his head, and that hesitation causes Scherzen to freeze up.
So the two teams exchanging miscues, and that paintbrush out of Jesus goes down out of the middle. A lucky break for Ohio State on top 15-11.
Mr. Miyagi be pleased with that one. You're painting the fence.
Good pass by Demikas, and that leads to another quick kill out of the middle by Gashus. Ohio State on top 16-11.
BYU is shell-shocked.
The middles for Ohio State have been nearly flawless, 18 of 23. Pete Hansen told us this morning at practice that that was one of the keys.
They had to handle the ball. They've done it since the midpoint of set 2. They have handled the ball off the Buckeyes. And not only have they handled it, but then they've executed the game plan perfectly and then been themselves. Bombing serves. BYU is not accustomed to this position. Sean Olmstead in his first year has not faced this pressure.
Well, you pointed it out early, but right now Ohio State has won the serve-receive battle by far. Not even close. BYU has been in system about 1 out of every 8 or 9 serve receives. Here's Durkin. Smart set to Johnson and off the top of the block.
And another perfect set in a bad situation by Nicholas Scherzen. This one is a back set. This is the skills of a player who has a high volleyball IQ and has been at this for a long time.
Johnson now with 15 kills. And what a great choice, going to your opposite, Johnson, as opposed to Franceschi at 6'3" on the outside. Scherzen off the block. And now it's 18-12 Ohio State. If you're just joining us, Ohio State won the opening set 32-30. BYU had 6 set points. Ohio State came back from an 18-15 deficit in the second set. They go on an 8-3 run, eventually close out the second 25-23. And it has been all Ohio State here in the third.
Those 2 scores and the way they went down have absolutely contributed to the problems for BYU.
That ball outside the antenna. We want to remind our viewers tonight at 11 Eastern. Come kick it with Sports Center at night with Kevin Connors and John Buccigross. They'll have a huge sports day covered with highlights from the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, the Kentucky Derby, and everything else Sports Center at night tonight at 11 Eastern right here on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Ace serve. Ohio State is absolutely rolling up 20-12.
The late Chick Hearn is putting it in the fridge right about now for Ohio State. BYU is done. They're going to have to try and pull the fork out and get back in this set, but statistics will tell you this is over.
Wonderful team effort for Ohio State. Franceschi a big part of it. Boy, that looked like a football.
It was close.
Patch flails the ball out of bounds. Looking for a net, looking for a touch. And now it is 21-12. Ohio State, in their long and distinguished history, has won one national championship. That was in this building on this date in 2011. Franceschi serves that ball just out of bounds, making it 21-13. Not impossible, but this is a huge ask for BYU.
Sean Olmsted without a ton of options. How about the turn of events for Christian Franceschi and his teammates from Pacific? From their program ending and forced to find a home to a national title being just points away.
Gachus with a rare error out of the middle. Leeson and Gachus number 4.
I think Gachus was a little tight to the net that time. He needs to stay away from the setter and away from the net at the same time.
Here is Sander. Perfect pass. And Gachus comes right back. What a good choice by Christy Blau, the setter, number 5 in red for Ohio State.
Christy Blau, the junior, has set a masterful match. His team's done the passing, but the strategy this kid has deployed has been timely and perfect.
Edwards on to serve once again, and Blau playing with those stress fractures in his shins all season long. Rarely, if ever, goes through a full practice.
Not to mention the broken teeth.
On the back row, quick combination, number 15, Sander with the kill. Ohio State hitting 345, BYU only 275. BYU, not surprisingly, winning the blocking category, but otherwise all the statistics in the favor of Ohio State. Another kill off the left side by Nicholas Scherzen.
And Scherzen, who was struggling in this match, has caught fire at just the right time. So one star player able to come back from a rough offensive start. The other subbed out, but back in, not hitting the ball well, and that's been patched.
Really good balance for Ohio State. Johnson with 10, Gachus with, Johnson with 15, Gachus, Scherzen, and Leeson with 10, 10, and 9, respectively. Back row combination again, a touch ruled off the block.
That one very easily could have been in the tape and then out.
Sunil Thomas will head back to the sideline. That was a very, very close no call. Patch back at the line. 23-16 lead for Ohio State. Leeson again.
BYU has no answer for the middles.
Blake Leeson, 10 for 12. Ohio State in Happy Valley, but on enemy territory. But they're about to capture their second ever national championship here at Penn State. That ball served out of bounds.
He wanted that one. He wanted the perfect bookends of semifinal and final.
Scherzen served an ace against UCLA to close out that win 18-16. NCAA championship point number 2 for Ohio State. To Leeson. Ohio State are your champions.
Hansen was standing off the end of the court during warm-ups. I said, Coach, just like any other match, right? He said, well, that's what it's supposed to be. And that's what his team did today. They treated it like any other match. They gritted out the first 2 sets, played some excellent volleyball late in those sets, and stayed true to who they were. Bombing serves and passing the ball well. And how about the middle attack all night long? A perfect ending for the story of this match.
Certainly one of the keys and one of the reasons why Miles Johnson and all of his teammates are celebrating is the opening set, when they were able to fight off 6 set points from BYU and take the opening set 32-30. They passed better. They certainly served better. They out-hit BYU 374 to 296. Just a superb performance for the Ohio State Buckeyes, who win their 2nd national championship. And now it's time for the pick-you-up moment of the game, brought to you by Enterprise.
Sometimes it's the smallest plays that loom the largest in giant circumstances. And the way that Ohio State handled the ball throughout, in the passing aspect of the game and also in off situations, brought them home to their 2nd title.
Nicholas Scherzen, the 6'4" sophomore National Player of the Year, really struggled in the opening set, but boy, he came on, found his rhythm, served the ball exceptionally well. But I thought the real story was maybe the setting of Christy Blau. Maybe he's the most valuable player, and what a performance by redshirt freshman Blake Leeson. Looking at his numbers, he was 11 for 13 with no errors, and Driss Gashus, his bookend, was 10 for 14. Their middles were spectacular.
That is, if not the best, one of the all-time performances, both individual for both of those men, but collectively in that position, that has ever been seen on the national championship stage.
And for BYU, where did it go wrong? Because again, they came in as the favorite.
It's that first set. You have 6 set points. 6. Then in the 2nd set, you're dominating the 2nd set late into it, and you give up a run to end it. Those kinds of things are incredibly difficult to recover from, especially when you are the favorite. You are supposed to be walking away with it, and at 2 points, at 2 opportunities in the first and in the 2nd set, you looked like you were on your way to taking that victory. To recover from that is both foreign and challenging.
Well, a tough match, obviously, for BYU. They'll finish the season at 27-4, and for their new head coach, Sean Olmstead. But you look at their roster, they're a very young team. Michael Hatch, the only senior. Everybody else will be back for the Cougars. But what a night for Ohio State. Their 31st win of the year. They have now won 23 matches in a row, and they swept the #1 team in the nation, 32-30, 25-23. and 25-17. Congratulations to Pete Hansen in his 32nd year, and there are the trophies. Both of these teams have held them before. BYU was going for their 4th title, and for Pete Hansen, I'll tell you, forever and a day, May 7th will be a special day for head coach of Ohio State, Pete Hansen. It was in 2011, on this date once again, that Ohio State won their first ever national championship, and here we are 5 years later in 2016. Same place, same date, and the Buckeyes bookend their national titles. First was over UC Santa Barbara back in 2011, 3-2, and this clearly an upset, and a lot of very, very thrilled, although they are pretty spent right now, Ohio State fans. They close out BYU 3-0. What a performance by the Buckeyes. We'll have the trophy presentation and, of course, the presentation of the all-important championship trophy. The individual awards for the players. And what a tremendous performance by Ohio State. They knew they came in as an underdog, and their player of the year, Nick Scherson, did not get off to a particularly good start, but he finished with 10 kills to go along with a couple of aces. Now let's go over to Kevin Barnett with Ohio State's head coach, Pete Hansen.
Thanks, Paul. Coach, second title for you and your team. How proud are you of this group and the way they performed coming back in that first and second set?
I can't tell you how proud I am, Kevin. There's a few things I love in life, my family, that university, and I love that team. They are unbelievable.
This group, they had a tough task ahead of them. They were the underdog all week. How much did you address that?
You know, we really didn't talk about it. We just talked about, hey, we're as good as anybody in this tournament, and why not us? If we play the way we play, which is serve it like that, nobody can touch us. And the kids believe they could do it, and they did it. Maybe some people surprised by the selection of Nicholas Scherson as National Player of the Year. Seems like he came out and proved it, both in the semifinal and in the middle part of this match. Tell us a little bit about that kid and what he meant to this team all year. Well, if there were any doubters, they weren't really paying attention. I'll give them that. He means a lot to our team. He's the straw that stirs our drink, and when he's on and he's focused, he's the best player in the country, and our guys just feel confident behind him, and they rally and play hard volleyball. You said before the match you wanted to attack the middle. You did it. I don't know that I've seen a better performance by a pair of players than the middles that you had tonight. How well was the game plan executed? I thought it was executed real well. We passed the ball pretty well. We're a little bit concerned about their float serves because we're not a great float serve receiving team because we don't do that in our gym, but we handled it. We got the ball to the middles and we scored, and that just took the pressure off of Miles and Nick. Where's this team rank in the history of this program? Well, they're absolutely as good as the 2011 team, and the 2011 team was awesome too. I love both those teams. I can't pick one. How about next year? Well, we'd love to do this in Columbus next year. We got most everybody coming back, so everybody's going to be good next year. We're just going to have to work our ass off to defend it. Coach, congratulations. Second national title. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, and congratulations to Pete Hansen, his second national championship in his 32nd year at Ohio State. A look at the final numbers. BYU, as expected, outblocked Ohio State. Look at the service aces, 8 and only 17 errors. Not many with respect to all the service aces, but it was more the consistent pressure for Ohio State over BYU. And once again, BYU with so many more hitting errors. They were out hit 374 to 296. Just a fabulous job. We talked about how important the setters were before the start of this match, and Christy Blau, number 5, the 6'5" junior out of Ontario, New York, was spectacular for Ohio State in distributing the ball, getting balance, and leading to the victory. Let's go back over to Kevin.
Paul here with Nicholas Scherson, AVCA Player of the Year, and a guy who came back from a rough start in the beginning part of this match. What was going through your mind as sets 1 and 2 unfolded?
I knew this game's going to be tough, but honestly, first couple of swings, I had a bad time, but after that, I just went for it. I didn't pose any question in my head. I just went for it and swing as far as I could, and I think it worked out perfect. So.
Set 3, you step back to the service line and put a run on BYU. Tell me about the strategy at that point in the match for you from service.
Same thing, just go for it. No question, just go for it and hit as hard as you can, and it works. It works as long as it works, and we made it.
There were a few plays in this match that you looked like a guy that's been playing volleyball since the age of 6. Tell me about growing up with this sport with your parents.
My parents were playing volleyball for their whole life, so we had a volleyball family. My sister was playing for Ohio State too, so I basically was born with a volleyball in my hand. So yeah, I've been practicing with my dad my whole life, and that's thanks to him that I'm here right now and winning.
What's the character of this team? Describe this group of guys.
I think we're all together. We just go for it, and we have no question in our minds, and that makes the beauty of the sports. Everybody's together and works for the same goal, and I know we're all together, and it's perfect.
Okay, national title in hand as a sophomore. What do you do this offseason to get ready for a return campaign?
I don't know. I'll try to lift and get better for sure, but we need to practice a lot better because next year's going to be tough too, and we'll try to come back and get this title next year too.
All right, enough about next year. Congratulations on this year.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Nick Scherson, champion 2016.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Well, boy, he had a lot of help. Once again, Johnson led the way with 15 kills at the opposite. Leeson and Gashus combined for 21 kills on 27 swings. Scherson with 10 kills on 24 swings. Ohio State clearly outplayed BYU for this championship. They have received their second place trophy. That's going to be a very disappointed BYU group. Ranked #1 in the nation coming in. They finished the season at 27-4, and now the awards being presented to Ohio State. And what a solid team performance. And you mentioned it a couple of times, Kevin, and I want to go back and visit the story of Christian Franceschi. A couple of years ago, he was a man without a place to play. A transfer from Pacific because University of Pacific disbanded their men's volleyball program. 5 of his teammates and he transferred to Ohio State together, and now he and they are all national champions.
Big credit to the program at Pacific and what was going on at that university, because it's not only the players here but players elsewhere that have gone on to great success. And the national championship, we said Franceschi had to have a big match. He did. This whole team played the way that they know how, and Pete Hansen said, hey, we took these guys and incorporated into our system last year, taught them how we do it. They've been fantastic, a big boost, experienced guys to our team, and I think that's the kind of experience that pays off in the tough situations that we saw in sets 1 and 2.
Blake Leeson, the 6'7" redshirt freshman out of Wisconsin. How good was he? And Miles Johnson will be going back to Carlsbad, California, an NCAA champion. But Kevin, and you mentioned it right at the beginning of the 3rd set, you were really concerned that BYU was in serious trouble. Why were they never able to find a formula against Ohio State?
They were supposed to win. They were supposed to come in and dominate this. They've dominated all year long. Only one other time had they lost the first 2 sets, and that hadn't gone well for them. They were immediately on their heels in that starting of that 3rd set because of what had gone on in set 1 and set 2, being up, losing the opportunity. But then I think all credit not only for the way they came back in 1 and 2, but the way they came out and started that 3rd. You saw it right away. It was 3-1. BYU came back. Then right around the 12 mark, Ohio State makes a big move. Ohio State did not relent with the service pressure that really started in force in set #2 and would not let BYU run their offense. The tempo of this match, the attitude of this match was dictated by the Buckeyes.
Ohio State wins the opening set again. That really set the table and gave them, I think, the confidence to go ahead and pull off this 3 games, 3 sets to none sweep. And there is the trophy presentation. The head coach, Pete Hansen.
One of the nicest guys you'll meet in this game, full of a lot of fantastic people. Pete Hansen, willing to give you his time, talk to you about the sport that he loves and he's been a part of. And he'll have a lot to talk about after this.
And now the team trophy presentation. For the 2nd time, Ohio State will raise the championship trophy. The first in 2011 and now again this year. Pete Hansen and the Ohio State Buckeyes in a 3 sets to none upset sweep over BYU. They close it out 25-17 in the 3rd, and the celebration was on. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.
This car wasn't made in Detroit or Tokyo or Mexico City. This, the Mini Clubman, was crafted in Oxford, England. A place where mass production isn't all that massive. And each car is engineered, customized, tuned, and crafted one at a time. Introducing the new Mini Clubman, made in Oxford.
This new Sonic Lemonade's great, huh?
I can't believe they set that lemonade stand up right across the street.
Uh-oh, she saw me. You're a full-grown adult. Come on, man. Oh, boy. Okay, duck down.
Start the car.
Introducing Iced or Frozen Ultimate Lemonades, and get a free slush when you download the new Sonic app.
If you need advice for your business, LegalZoom has your back. Our trusted network of attorneys has provided guidance to over 100,000 people just like you. Visit LegalZoom today for legal help you can count on. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
At Bridgestone, our engineers want to help make sure you're not stuck on the side of the road.
Not even if a professional archer happens to shoot a razor-sharp arrow into your tire.
It could happen.
It's happening right now.
Our revolutionary drive guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and drive up to 50 miles.
Ready to go.
So if a razor-sharp arrow doesn't stop you,
a little old nail sure won't.
Watch our latest Archer demo at BridgestoneTire.com.
Ooh, let's go visit the javelin team.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
This would be a great day to play perfect, wouldn't it?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
The NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. We help you live life differently. And in part by Mini.
Ohio State are the champions of men's collegiate volleyball in 2016. And they outplayed BYU in virtually every facet of the contest. Miles Johnson, they're celebrating with his family, and he was a big key, but it was the balance for Ohio State. A really solid team effort from start to finish, Kevin.
This was a team that a lot of people who saw them during the year said they are dangerous. What they can do to you from the service line is unlike anybody else in the country. And to open this, we talked about what BYU could do that was unique. It was Ohio State who maximized their unique skills from the service line to absolutely control this match and destroy the #1 team in the nation in that third set to really take control, assert themselves, and put an exclamation point on this title.
A really challenging week for Ohio State. They got past George Mason. They survived against UCLA. And then somehow they found the energy to overcome the #1 team in the nation. Ohio State are your national champions. Thanks for watching, everybody. Coming up next on ESPN2 is the College Football All-Star Challenge.
In the wake of the second ever college football playoff